Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of your Daily Guides. The version 1.2 update just happened and is centered heavily around Escanor, and everything new ties back to how flexible his kit is and how much the game is pushing you to build around him. He's coming in as an SSR with 3 separate roles depending on what you equip, with the Fire Axe leaning fully into raw damage output, the Holy Greatsword shifts him toward burn-focused scaling, and the Sword and Shield setup gives him a more stable tank or support angle, so instead of being locked into one role, you're effectively building 3 variations of the same unit depending on what your account needs. That design carries directly into the new Abyss content, because both of the added challenges are clearly structured to match his different builds. Galland of Truth is tuned around fire and wind weaknesses, while Ferzen Mines favors lightning and light, so even though Escanor is the highlight, the game is still encouraging broader team building rather than forcing a single element solution. But realistically, his fire-focused setup is going to be one of the most efficient ways to handle Galland. Alongside that, there's a full new region called My Sweet Gluttony, which introduces a fresh resource loop rather than just being an exploration zone. You're getting 7 new materials, including cooking ingredients, sunstone ore, and the sunlight flower. And based on how previous systems work, these are almost certainly tied into both crafting and character progression, especially when it comes to limit breaks and higher tier recipes. That ties into the Workbench expansion, which is getting pushed to level 6, and this is where things start to get expensive. The upgrade requires 40 platinum ingots, which is a steep requirement, especially for free-to-play players, but the trade-off is access to some of the most impactful crafting options so far. You're unlocking things like the mobile mining machine, which doubles as both a mount and a gathering tool, along with remnants of the Rift for re-rolling SSR engraved gear, plus new alloys, crystals, and stronger HP recovery potions. So while the cost is high, the long-term value is clearly there if you can reach it. To offset that a bit, the update is launching with a 14-day login event that's stacked with resources. Everyone gets 3,000 gems immediately through mail, and then the daily rewards include summon tickets, large batches of keys, gold, and ingot selection chests that can help ease the workbench grind. On top of that, Day 3 gives you the Wise Big Hoot as a guaranteed flying mount, and Day 14 finishes with the Proud Moustache Hawk as a riding pet. So even just logging in consistently gives you both utility and progression boosts. Gear progression is also expanding with new engraved equipment sets, and these are clearly built with Escanor in mind. The Northern Wildness set extends the duration of his flare effect and adds a chance to generate extra sunspots, while the Sufficient Arrogance set increases how much defense reduction your burns apply and boosts holy damage. So depending on which version of Escanor you're running, you've got tailored options that directly enhance that playstyle. At the same time, other characters like Meliodas, Tristan, and Gila are also getting new engraved gear, so this isn't completely locked to one unit. Pets and mounts are getting a noticeable expansion as well, with 6 new additions. The mobile mining machine stands out because it's not just cosmetic, it actually improves resource farming efficiency, while the Wise Big Hoot and Proud Moustache Hawk cover flying and ground mobility. There are also smaller additions like a camel that can be found in the world, which suggests they're continuing to build out exploration incentives rather than keeping mounts purely reward-based. On the weapon side, there's a new SSR option called the Gluttonous Soul Axe, which is crafted using materials from the Galland Abyss. Its passive boosts fire damage significantly and restores health when you use a special attack, which lines up directly with Escanor's offensive builds and reinforces that sustain through damage playstyle instead of relying on external healing. Beyond that, there are a few system-level additions that matter more than they initially seem. The Cursed Pulse Accessory Set from Galland gives HP scaling, a low health barrier, and darkness resistance, which makes it a strong defensive option for tougher content. The Time and Space Junction introduces a tower-style mode with rotating bosses across different sectors, so that's likely going to become a recurring source of progression materials. Continuous tracking improves open-world farming by automatically guiding you to the next resource node, and the new equipment preview system lets you check stats and passives before committing materials, which removes a lot of guesswork from crafting decisions. Finally, there are event-based additions like the Promise of Hope missions and the Escanor Trial, both of which provide upgrade materials, hero tokens, and a dedicated skin for Escanor. So even outside of the main systems, there's a clear push to make sure players can immediately start building and testing him without hitting progression walls too early. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!